everyone, it's Relene here. So I'm here to share more about Turkey VTL, so Turkey Singapore VTL, and it's specific to winter as well. So a lot of things are different from when I last came to Turkey 7 years ago. In the height of summer, it's a lot more crowded. So yeah, my plane was actually like virtually at most 40% full, and it was nice that I had a whole row to myself. So sleep was great. And the airport was relatively empty. To enter Turkey, you only need to be fully vaccinated. Upon arrival at the airport, nobody asked to see my vaccine certification. There was no queue at immigration, and as you can see, the airport is relatively empty. Getting out of Istanbul airport is also easy. There are multiple buses running to city centre or even the suburbs, and they are relatively cheap. I don't recall paying more than $5 Sing for the bus. Yeah, here the Turkish lira has dropped quite a bit, so it's actually a great time to come. Now the exchange rate is basically for everything you see the price tags, you just divide by 10. So spent a couple of days at Istanbul, and you see all the sites. Blue Mosque is under construction, unfortunately, but Hagia Sophia is still very beautiful. We went on the ferry across the Bosphorus. We also went, walking down the Taksim street, which is I recommend to people. I mean, not that you have to buy anything, but it's just a car-free zone, and the high street is pretty long, so it's nice just for a stroll after lunch. Right, so after Istanbul, my initial idea was to explore the Black Sea, which is the region I have not seen before, but I wouldn't recommend people to do this in winter unless you're really prepared for it. I mean, basically prepared meaning that you are driving in icy roads, you're driving through slush, and even if you're walking around the corner to the grocery store, you're going to be slipping and sliding over the pavement that has ice on it because the temperatures drop way below zero. Like we experienced like -15, -20, and the places that is the highlight of the Black Seas are usually covered in snow, meaning the road access might not be present. So yes, we drove to Bolu, and as you can see, it's snowing heavily just outside our nice apartment in Bolu, and we went to see Gokçuk Lake and Aban Lake. I mean, it's fun. It's fun in the sense you see kids making snow angels. I made a snow angel. Our summer tired car that unfortunately the rental company gave us, we ran into a lot of issues. It is unprecedented, this cold front or this weather. It's actually not normal because, for example, it hasn't snowed in Istanbul airport for 4 years, and it snowed when we arrived. In any case, we were skidding around in summer tires, and it was very dangerous. The highways were shut, so major highways connecting cities or major points of interest were shut, and it happened to us suddenly 2 or 3 times. We had trouble getting out of the driveway because the snow was so thick, and it was the first time I had to shovel a knee-deep kind of snow. But yeah, we were going to Ankara to change the car to winter tires after many calls with them. It's just crazy. We had full insurance coverage, and yet they would give us a car where we would probably get into an accident, and in front of us 20 cars and 4 trucks collided, which was so scary, and then there was also a school bus involved, kids. And they took 8 hours to clear the wreckage. The road was super icy. We saw cars skidding, freewheeling. That's the thing to look out for in winter, that make sure you have cars with proper winter tires. I mean, don't let it deter you, but come prepared. The scenery in winter is very beautiful, and it's very different from summer. Without all the tourists, things are cheaper. People are more friendly to tourists because they don't see so many of them. Bolu to Ankara, I mean, for us, instead of the 2 hours we're supposed to take, took 12 hours, but we made it to Ankara, and we made it to a beautiful penthouse. We had a beautiful, very patient host who was really looking out for us, keeping each other updated as we stopped in traffic. So we didn't spend much time in Ankara because there was no sights around it that we wanted to see. So yeah, from Ankara, once we switched to a winter tire car, we moved on. In case you don't already know, I mean, Cappadocia is one of the best places in Turkey to visit in all seasons. And I was there last in summer. Even for me, 1 week wasn't enough, So this time we went there for 5 days. And why is 1 week not enough? It's because Cappadocia is made up of 5 different towns. There's a lot of different valleys you can hike. There is underground cities you can visit. And it's not just one of each. It's 5 different valleys. There's the White Valley, there's the Love Valley, there's Rose Valley, there's the Red Valley, and basically they are all interconnected if you want to do a long hike in summer. In winter, it's maybe a little bit more difficult because of the daylight hours and the amount of snow that fell in Cappadocia. There's still other things like, Ilara. That was a beautiful place that I didn't see the last time we drove there. And towards the end of the hike, it was just us. Hiking the beautiful valley, with exploring the monastery, and even a full day out wasn't enough, especially in winter. Cappadocia's landscape is very unique, and 5 days was okay, but we didn't manage to see everything. If it's too hot in summer, there's always the underground cities. If it's too cold in winter, there's also the underground cities, which maintain a nice constant temperature throughout the seasons, and you're sheltered from the wind, rain, any storm. So yep, that's Cappadocia for you. The final segment of our trip was the coast, meaning we went to Side and we went to Antalya. Obviously in winter that would be the warmest place you can get to, but as I said, there's been an cold weather season this year, and it snowed in both Side and Antalya. And it didn't affect any of our activities. There was a few glorious days of blue skies where we went out climbing. Hiking around Antalya, or hiking or climbing around Antalya, is only recommended outside of summer, because in summer, when I was there last, it was hard for me to even leave the house because it was about 40 degrees Celsius. You basically can't even think in that weather, much less hike. You get dehydrated really quickly, but winter time is a great time for climbing. There are a few other places that you can get to. There's a couple of canyons around, I think 3 or 4 of them, or even half an hour. Half an hour is probably the closest one you can drive to, which we went to. It's very accessible for families. It's a beautiful short canyon walk there in the summer. They do zip lines and rafting. There's also a lot of walks. The Lycian or Lycian way, the long distance one, there's segments of it that you can do. It starts basically just outside of Antalya. There's also, if you're willing to drive an hour or two, there's obviously the coastside cities. The furthest we went to was Sirali. The furthest, look at the eternal flames that are burning in the rock, so that's like a 20-30 minute hike up one way. The biggest draw in terms of food for the coast is the abundance of seafood. So if you're a big seafood lover, I did enjoy buying the really cheap sea bass. They go for 8 sing per kilo. There's basically both urban and outdoor activities for everyone, and good food to look forward to at the end of the day for Antalya. So our stop over on the way to Istanbul airport was Eskisehir. I had to Google that. It turned out to be one of my so-called favorite cities, because it was so off the tourist path. Why I loved it so much, because we were very central. We were 200 meters from the center, from a beautiful riverside walk that was lined with shops. A lot of the shops in Eskisehir was family run, which was a surprise to me. But altogether, the prices were very cheap. No one will hustle you there. Everyone's truly, genuinely kind and friendly. It was a nice way to end the trip, to